Life is strangely full of decisions, endless, constant, relentless decisions. We spend an enormous amount of time making decisions, don't we? What to eat, what to wear, where to go, what to say. But how often do we actually make the decision that matters most? The decision to simply be ourselves, not the person your parents wanted, not the person society expects, not even the person you think you should be. Just you, plain and simple you. And here's the funny thing. Now, the moment you actually make that decision, the moment you truly choose yourself, not out of arrogance or selfishness, but out of a deep recognition of who you actually are, everything begins to change. Not because you're doing something special, but because you stop doing something very unspecial. You stop pretending. So let me ask you this. When was the last time you looked at your life and honestly asked yourself, am I living this for me, or am I living it for them? For the invisible audience in your head that's always watching, always judging, always keeping score. Most of us never even think to ask that question because we're too busy performing, too busy trying to get it right, to make it work, to prove something to someone we'll probably never even meet. But what happens when you stop? What happens when you finally choose yourself? Well, let me tell you, it's not what you think. You see, we've been taught that choosing yourself is selfish, that it means abandoning others, ignoring responsibilities, running away to some island where you can sit under a palm tree and forget about the world. But that's not it at all. Choosing yourself is not about rejecting life. It's about accepting it. It's about recognizing that you are not a stranger in the universe, but a part of it. And the moment you accept that, the moment you stop fighting against your own nature, something extraordinary happens. You relax. Now, most people don't know how to relax. They think relaxation means lying on a couch doing nothing. But real relaxation, the kind that changes your life, is not about doing nothing. It's about doing what you do without resistance, without the constant voice in your head saying, am I doing this right? What will they think? Is this good enough? When you choose yourself, that voice starts to quiet down. Not because you've defeated it or suppressed it, but because you've stopped taking it so seriously. You've realized that the voice was never yours to begin with. It was just an echo of all the people who told you who you should be. Your parents, your teachers, your friends, your culture. They all meant well, of course, but they were trying to turn you into something that fit their picture, their plan, their idea of what a good life looks like. And the problem is, their picture was never meant for you. Think about it. Have you ever tried to force yourself into clothes that don't fit? It's uncomfortable, isn't it? You can't move properly. You can't breathe. You spend the whole time adjusting, pulling, trying to make it work. That's what most people do with their entire lives. They're walking around in clothes that don't fit, pretending they're comfortable, wondering why they feel so exhausted all the time. Choosing yourself is like taking off those clothes and putting on something that actually fits. And the moment you do, you realize how much energy you've been wasting. All that effort you put into being someone else, into maintaining an image, into proving your worth, it just falls away, and what's left is this simple, easy presence, this sense of being at home in your own skin. But here's where it gets interesting. When you finally choose yourself, when you stop trying to be what others want and start being what you are, people notice. Some of them won't like it. In fact, some of them will be deeply threatened by it, because your authenticity reminds them of their own pretending. Your freedom highlights their prison, and that makes them uncomfortable. So they'll try to pull you back. They'll question your choices. They'll tell you you've changed. They'll say you're being selfish, irresponsible, foolish. And if you're not careful, you'll believe them. You'll think maybe they're right. That maybe I should go back to the way things were. At least it was safe. At least people understood. But you can't go back. Once you've tasted real freedom, once you've felt what it's like to live from your own center instead of from someone else's expectations, you can't unknow that. It's like waking up from a dream. might remember the dream, but you know it wasn't real. And this is what people don't understand about choosing yourself. It's not a one-time decision. It's a daily practice. Every morning you wake up and you have to make the choice again. Am I going to live for myself today, or am I going to live for them? Am I going to honor what I know to be true, or am I going to pretend? Most days it's easy. You wake up, you feel clear. You know what you need to do. But some days it's hard. Some days the old patterns come rushing back. The need for approval, the fear of rejection, the desperate desire to fit in. And on those days, you have to be gentle with yourself.